handsome, well-built man hits on you at the bar, a gay love story. In the shadows of New York, my forbidden love, and the triumph of my heart. I'm 26 years old, and I've spent most of my life exploring the fascinating world of New York City's financial district. It's a complex and intricate web that I've become quite familiar with. I'm a high-ranking Wall Street executive, so my life is completely intertwined with this busy city. Every day is like a carefully planned show for me. The stock prices are like my constantly changing background music. Corporate boardrooms are my stages, and my relentless pursuit of success keeps me going. In the eyes of others, I may appear to have it all: privilege, influence, and a life filled with endless opportunities that seem to come my way effortlessly. But you know what? Despite my fancy suits and polished appearance, I've got a secret that weighs on me like a ton of bricks. It's something I've kept hidden deep inside for what feels like forever. It was this totally unexpected moment that completely changed the direction of my life. So there I was, feeling completely overwhelmed by work, like I had this huge mountain to climb. But then, I stumbled upon this cozy little bar in Brooklyn, of all places, and it turned out to be the perfect escape. I found myself in a cozy spot, surrounded by gentle golden lights. The beautiful melodies of a heartfelt guitar filled the air, soothing my tired spirit with every note. Wow, that melody really struck a chord with me. It felt like it reached deep into my soul and spoke to the secret longings in my heart. Caleb Rodriguez. He was the star of this incredible symphony. His guitar skills were out of this world, like pure magic. His fingers danced on the strings with such finesse that it was absolutely captivating. Wow! His voice was absolutely incredible. It had this amazing blend of intense emotion and pure talent. It felt like he was telling the stories of the entire world through his music. When our eyes met in that crowded room, something incredible happened. It was like a bolt of electricity running through me, making me feel alive. There was this undeniable connection that I just couldn't ignore. It pulled me towards him like a moth to a flame. When Caleb finished playing that incredible melody, I couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder and intrigue. It was like the music just melted into the night. Wow! My heart was racing so fast. It was like it couldn't keep up with itself. And then, in that super intense moment, our eyes met from across the room, even with all those people around. It felt like the universe had planned for us to meet, and our connection went beyond time and circumstances. I couldn't help but feel this magnetic pull towards Caleb, like there was an irresistible force pulling me closer to him. As the song's final notes faded away, Caleb gently set his guitar down and started walking over to me. The bar was so quiet that everyone there could feel how important and fateful this meeting was. It was like two different worlds were about to collide. As Caleb came closer to me, his voice had this really friendly and inviting tone. "I'm so glad you like the music," he said with a soft smile on his face. I was usually pretty composed and reserved, but I gotta admit I was totally speechless for a moment. But I couldn't help but nod and smile back, my voice finally escaping with a genuine sense of awe. It was so incredible. So we found ourselves in the cozy and dimly lit harmonies, captivated by Caleb's enchanting music, and that's where our paths crossed. So get this. We had this totally unexpected meeting that ended up sparking a crazy love story. And get this. It was a love story that went against all the rules of society and completely changed our lives forever. Can you believe it? Later that evening, after the last round of applause died down, Caleb and I left the bar together. The night air in Brooklyn was so crisp and inviting. It felt like the city's nonstop energy had turned into a soothing hum. We were walking together, chatting away without any effort. I found out that Caleb is really into music. He's super talented and can both play instruments and write songs. He has some big dreams that he's really passionate about. So Caleb ended up finding out all about my life as a Wall Street executive. It's such a different world compared to the artistic haven of Harmony. Even though we come from different backgrounds and have different lifestyles, there's this undeniable connection between us. It's like a magnetic force that just pulls us together, even if it doesn't make logical sense. We talked about our dreams, passions, and the challenges we faced in our own lives. As the night got later, the clock's hands ticked past midnight, and we ended up on a peaceful street corner, with just one lamppost casting a gentle glow. The city is still awake, but it feels more intimate now. I called for a taxi, but when it showed up, I wasn't sure if I should get. I gazed into Caleb's eyes, feeling a whirlwind of emotion swirling within me. The longing to stay was evident in my expression, but so was the uncertainty. I couldn't help but confess. Caleb nodded, and I could tell from the look in his eyes that he felt the same way. "Oh, I totally get what you're saying." As we shared a moment of quiet understanding, I couldn't help but lean in, and our lips met in a gentle kiss. It felt like a silent promise of what could potentially unfold between us. Wow, that kiss was so full of hope. It really showed how connected we are to each other. We hesitantly let go of each other's hands and pulled away. I got into the taxi with a heavy heart. As the car started moving, I couldn't help but steal a glance at Caleb. He looked so cool, standing there with the city lights shining behind him. I shouted out of the open window, expressing my desire to see Caleb again. He responded with a bittersweet smile, saying that he felt the same way. And just like that, the taxi took me deep into the city, leaving Caleb all by himself on the street corner. Even though we said our goodbyes, it feels like we're still connected somehow. We both hope that we'll see each other again. In the weeks and months that followed that fateful night at Harmony's Haven, Caleb and I embarked on a clandestine love affair, a carefully concealed flame that burned bright in the shadows, away from the prying eyes of society. Each stolen moment we shared felt like a precious gem hidden within the bustling metropolis, as if we were nurturing a delicate flower amidst the cold, unyielding concrete of the city. Our love, intense and profound, thrived in these stolen moments. We reveled in the stolen glances and secret rendezvous that kept our connection alive. Yet, it was impossible to ignore the formidable challenges that loomed over us, casting a shadow on our budding romance. Society's prejudices were a constant threat, an unrelenting storm that threatened to douse the flame of our love. The whispers and judgmental stares of those around us served as a constant reminder of the vast divide between our worlds. I, as a Wall Street executive, carried the weight of a powerful family name, and the expectations that came with it were suffocating. Caleb, on the other hand, faced his own challenges in trying to protect the world he had built through his music, a world that provided him solace and purpose. One significant incident that tested the depth of our love unfolded when I introduced Caleb to my family. We hosted an elegant dinner at our sprawling family estate, and the tension in the room was palpable as Caleb, dressed in his finest attire, walked through the imposing doors. My family, staunch traditionalists with a long history of upholding societal norms, raised skeptical eyebrows at our unconventional relationship. The evening was fraught with awkward silences and forced conversations as my family struggled to reconcile their expectations with the man I had fallen in love with. It was a challenging night, but as the weeks passed, my family began to see the genuine love and happiness Caleb brought into my life. Slowly, their skepticism transformed into acceptance, and our love story started to bridge the gap between our worlds, defying societal norms and expectations. When Caleb's buddies at the bar started getting the hunch about him and me. So there were these rumors going around, all because one of his colleagues happened to see us having a cute moment outside a bar. The challenge was pretty tough because his coworkers, who were used to the laid-back and carefree vibe of the music scene, were struggling to accept the fact that Caleb was dating someone from a completely different social background. But as they saw how much we loved and cared about each other, they started to look past all the little things that don't really matter. Over time, They went from being skeptical to totally accepting, and Caleb's coworkers became a huge support for us. It made our love even stronger, showing that we could handle whatever society threw at us. We totally tackled these challenges together, and our love was like a safe haven during the storm. But there were times when it just felt like too much to handle. The whole secrecy thing, the constant fear of getting caught, and the crazy pressure from our own lives almost broke us up. Incidents occurred, moments when our worlds collided in uncomfortable ways. A chance meeting with a colleague of mine while on an intimate date with Caleb, or a hidden love note, accidentally discovered by a friend, served as painful reminders of the precariousness of our situation. We endured moments of doubt when the chasm between our social statuses seemed too vast to bridge, and the prejudice of society felt insurmountable. Our love story started in the midst of the crazy chaos of New York City. His story was totally unexpected and went against all the usual rules. We were like total pioneers, just hacking our way through the thorny mess of societal rules. We had to deal with some tough terrain, but we always had each other's backs, especially when others didn't get our bond or started judging us. Our love was totally amazing, It was like our hearts didn't give a damn about social status or what society thought was okay. Hey, you know what? Love actually has its own set of rules, and those are the ones that really count. As time went by, our love just kept getting stronger, like there was no stopping it. We went through some tough times together, but those struggles just made our love story even more awesome. We became like a shining light of hope for people who, like us, were brave enough to go after what they wanted and embrace love, even if society didn't approve. I just knew in my heart that picking Caleb, this super talented musician from Brooklyn, instead of going along with what everyone else expected, was the best choice I ever made. It was a choice that brought so much love and happiness, like I've never felt before. I'm Jameson Whitman, just an average Wall Street executive. Gotta say, I made a pretty cool choice by picking love over all the fancy perks. And you know what? It totally paid off. Found a happiness that blew everyone's minds. Our love story is totally epic. It's a reminder that love doesn't care about boundaries and can totally crush society's prejudices.